All right, this video is going over the NumberCube free response question, part A. And we're rolling, it looks like a regular die. It gets you anywhere 1 to 6, right? And we don't actually have to write any random method here. What we have to do in part A is use this toss method from the NumberCube class. So basically, we have a NumberCube class and it has a toss method, and then we are somewhere else. All right, so it doesn't really say what other class we're in, but we're just in a method somewhere else that takes in a number cube. And what you want to return is an int array that has a bunch of simulated tosses equal to number tosses. So we might want to simulate 10 tosses or 20 tosses. So we have to populate an array with 10 or 20 random values and then return that. So they give you an example here. It looks like this would be 18 random values. So we have to create the int array first and then go through and call the toss method one at a time, one time for each spot in the array, right? So that's really what's happening in part A. Um, and so we have a number cube again that has just a toss method. I kind of wrote it here just for fun. It would do random number 1 to 6, returns that int. Okay, and then it doesn't matter where you are. I just made another class called Cube Simulator, and here's the method from part A. All right, and so the idea is we already have a cube, right? We have a cube object, and so I can just call that .toss method whenever I need it, right? That was shown there in a second ago. Sorry, my computer's freaking out. So I'm going to call the .toss method, right? But then I'm going to call that one time each time for each spot in the array. So I have to populate each different spot, right? So the first thing is you actually have to make the array. So I just called it int bracket because it's an array, and I called it like tosses or something, right, to represent all the different tosses. Okay, and that's going to do new int array. And then I want to make spaces for however many tosses I have. Okay, so this could be many different numbers here. Whatever is passed in, 10 or 20 or however many tosses we have, that's how many spots we need in our result array. Okay, and then I'm just going to go through and populate it. So I'm just going to loop through each index. So I'm just going to do a index goes 0 up to less than the length, and that'll loop through each one of these spots. Right, so I'm going to do for int I equals 0, I is less than tosses, my array, dot length, plus plus I. So that goes through the spots one at a time. And I want to populate my array. So my tosses array position I want to populate that with a new random number. Okay, and so to do that, I just have to call cube dot toss. Right, that gets a random number 1 to 6. Right, so when I populate each spot one at a time with a different random number. And then when I'm done, I just have to return that array of random numbers. Okay, and that is it for part A. Hopefully that makes sense.